This is my 7th post-intervention assessment. Pick 2 papers from the bowl and choose one. Put the one that was not chosen back in the bowl. Using the notebook and a pen, write an outline for your speech. Before you start writing the outline, set a timer for 10 minutes. Show the camera. Using the notebook and pen, write an outline for your speech. I already did that. Once the timer rings, press stop and you can use the outline you created for your speech. Set a second timer for 4 minutes, show the camera, and begin your speech. My question was, do you have any pets, and tell me about them? So I'll tell you about all the pets I've had in my life. I have had horses, dogs, chickens, goats, turtles, and a lot of fish. So I have had 10 horses that I can remember my whole life. My horse was named Dusty, and then that was my horse when I was little. My horse just a couple years ago was named Annie, and we've had Blue, Lightning, Rain, Thunder, Tigre, Tamale, Baka, and 24. And for a while, all of my horses' names were named after weather. And with dogs, I've had about 10 dogs that I can remember. Levi, Cinch, Dally, Wrangler, Copper, Carmel, Arena, Reno, Chiquita, and Gunner. But Copper we had to get rid of because he kept escaping and running away from the house. And Carmel we had to get rid of because he was mean and would only play with me when he was asleep when I was little. And we had to get rid of Wrangler when I was just born because Wrangler bit my brother. We also had many chickens my whole life. We had goats that we didn't really do much with. And at one point we had 3 turtles, but then we learned that they were going to grow huge, so we decided to get rid of them. And as I mentioned, we have had fish. We've had like 72 fish, all betta fish, and I would always name them Bubbles, but they would die within months of each other. So after a trip to New York to visit my aunt and my cousin, then I started naming my fish names of cities in New York that I thought were cool, like Canandaigua was one of my fish's names, and that fish seemed to live longer than all of the ones I named Bubbles. My dog, Arena, that I mentioned before, was a mini poodle. We called him Clifford because he grew so big because I loved him so much. And now I have a mini poodle named Gunner, who is 8. I got him when I was a sophomore in college, and now I'm in grad school and he's my college dog still. And I also have a golden doodle named Kobe, who is almost 2. I also see my parents' dog often, who is named Hazy May, but I call her Hey Hey, like the dumb chicken on Moana, because she has a very silly personality. Those are the animals I always have had. I, at one point when I was younger, had 7 dogs at one time, and then 6 dogs because they were older. And I think the most horses we've ever had have been 4 at one time, and we also had cows that I forgot to mention. And at one time, we probably had 6 or 7 cows, but that's because my dad and brother would team rope them. So we had a whole bunch at one time. And I've never had any reptiles. I caught a gecko one time and tried to keep it, but my mom said we couldn't keep that as a pet. And my parents don't have any horses anymore. They just sold the last one, Annie, and gave my brother his horse where my brother lives. Stop timer and stop the recording.